This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Angus Report.
In the mid-1990s, when Kansas cattle feeder Lee Borck saw the first value-based grid markets, he realized it was like a past generation of new car buyers and sellers. He talked about that recently.
They didn't have a lot with 200 cars on it you could pick from. They had two of them sitting in the front window, and you'd go in, you'd write the order down. And you had the price for the bare car, but then if you wanted air conditioning, or if you wanted floor mats, or if you wanted electric windows, this much for the air conditioning, this much for the floor mats, and this much for the windows. That's the way we approach selling cattle. Cash is a base index. That's average. That's your plain Jane auto.
If packers wanted better than average grade cattle, they needed to pay a premium. This much for more marbling, this much for leaner carcasses, with discounts if the cattle got too fat.
We got to be just like the automobile companies were. We produced more of what the packer wanted and less of what he didn't, and so we were able to get premiums out of it. It's really pretty simple economics.
While that might sound like producing premium beef became quite routine, it's never been cut and dry, or as simple as those driving economics.
It wasn't that we were extremely good to begin with in doing that. It took years for us to really figure out how to be efficient at what we were doing. There were mistakes, and you'd think you had it figured out, and you hit a weather event that would, you didn't know whether it was right or not then, because it would blow up the information that we were gathering. So you'd almost have to say it was a lifetime's worth of work to be able to get to where you're fairly comfortable. But even today, it's not an exact science.
Borck and his network of allied feed yards continue to innovate and respond with ever greater precision to the consumer demand for premium beef. I'm Bob Cervera.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm, so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, and we're glad to answer and work with you.